Welcome back, everyone, to Buying Local.
I feel like we've been here before.
I know, right? Maybe. Well, you guys are like, you're regulars now at this point, right? This is your third, or fourth.
I think it's the third because we have our third show coming up. So
I know, but did you come on?
You came on it before.
Before that? I can't
remember. You had
remember.
come on it before.
I know that Jim came on it before talking about me, so I basically was here.
And then I feel like you came on.
And the only time I've ever done this is with Jay.
No. No.
Are you sure?
I'm positive because you came in.
Oh, right. We were talking about me and my fight career. Yes.
Yes.
CTE.
The life story.
Yes.
Of Don Walton.
Yes. Yeah. There's still more to talk about. We got to do a part 2 on that.
I know. Well, I agree. I agree. But before we get into any of that stuff, we got to talk about Jay's phone.
Yeah, it's the...
Folks, if you're watching, we actually do have video on this.
The Android Flip.
Is that what it is? The Android Flip?
Well, it's Samsung Flip.
All of a sudden, to give everyone a little backstory, there's this weird sound coming from Jay's pocket, and he pulls this thing out, if you can see it.
There's multiple screens.
And
we are in no way sponsored by the Flip, by the way.
That's my step.
But we should be.
Yet.
This thing is cool, though. I've never seen a phone like that. It's almost like... remember the old flip phones?
You mean my first?
The Razor's actually back out too.
Even before that, though, they had the black mobile
Motorola.
The Motorola ones. Remember those? The Z something or others?
Yeah.
It's like, you pulled it out, I was like, oh my God, it's like the...
That's actually the Flip Z.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the teched up version of that old phone. Yeah. That's amazing. That's like...
I used to, you get used to the phone being like this, but now it's so compact.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
It's sweet. Throw that thing in your wallet.
Yep.
Do they make a cover for it that acts like a wallet?
No.
Like you could put your debit card in there?
Yeah, actually they do. This is actually a cover.
It is?
Yeah. It's got a screen protector on both sides.
What a time to be alive.
Right?
You know?
That we went back to flip phones?
That is amazing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's old is new again. Like, bell bottoms, like it all comes back around sooner or later, right? Just kind of like your fights. Here we are again.
I know.
So, real quick, guys, just go ahead and introduce yourselves and why we're here.
Jay Ingleston.
Donald Walton.
Elite Fighting Promotions.
Very nice.
Out of Saratoga Springs, New York. Located at the Saratoga Springs City Center.
Yes. And this is the third?
Yep. This will be our third show, second time being Elite Fighting Promotions.
That's right, because the first time you were under another banner.
We were working with Donnybrook Fight Promotions. We since have split off from them since then. We are our own thing now. We have nothing to do with them, but we always wish them the best as well.
We wish them well, absolutely. Wish everyone well.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of well wishes. We were talking about that before the podcast. We won't get back into that conversation, but we were just talking about we like to wish everyone well. So... a few things to talk about other than Jay's phone, which I just can't get over that thing. But Don, you coming in here, obviously we want to talk about the fight and the ticket and the things that you've got going on here November 1st at the Saratoga Springs City Center. But also you're just getting back from a trip to Thailand.
Yep. And
people can't see on the video, but you're wearing some very cool pants. Are you going to throw a leg up? Yes. Look at that. That's nice. So, tell us about the trip to Thailand, and I'm sorry, everyone, for the noise in the background coming through my windows. We're recording in my kitchen. I'm actually going to shut those windows. Hold on one second, because that's going to continue to be a pain in the ass.
So, I had a kid, Damian Snyder, a.k.a. Diamond Boy Damian. He became number 1 in the U.S. for his division at 12 years old, and decided...
Yeah, that little kid.
Yeah.
Holy moly, is he a little badass?
Yeah, so what happened was we went to this tournament, went to the qualifiers, the Grand Nationals, and I saw the kids in his division. There were 2 kids specifically that I said, these are the 2 most dangerous kids in the entire division. Well, guess what? He drew the most dangerous one on the first round of the picks. And so I said, here is our strategy. We went in, he did exactly what I told him to do. And he made the kid look like a fool. And I'm like, oh, amazing. Then the second kid was a former WKA World Kickboxing Champion. Damian knocked him out.
Wow.
And me, whenever, I'm a big believer in the amateur level. You fight as often as you can. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. And going into that tournament, I said, like, hey, I don't care what happens here. We're here to get you as much experience as possible. So that way when you're an adult, you'll be a veteran of the sport and you'll be leagues ahead of everybody else. And then he wins the whole damn tournament. And I'm like, all right, I guess we're going to Thailand. Because that was the qualifier was meant to join the U.S. team to go to Thailand. So that's what we ended up doing.
If I am recalling correctly what I read about his performance at that tournament, he didn't just win it. He like dominated.
He ran the kids over like it was
dominated that tournament, which is I mean, and he's such a good kid too. Like I see him around Alliance every once in a while.
And also he has high honor roll. Like if he goes to regular honor roll, he like gets mad at himself.
Good for him.
I'm just like, how can you be a good fighter and you're also
smart?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he busts my balls a lot.
Oh, dude, he's such a joke.
He probably thinks he can take you.
Constantly on me anytime I see him.
Really?
I sparred with him a while back, just moving with him. Like, I'll give him some rounds, move with him a little bit. I don't know how else to describe it other than there was a moment. And again, I am 100 pounds heavier.
Yep.
Like 2 feet taller. And I don't know how to explain it other than there was a moment where I moved. My brain, like the synapses went up going, danger. I don't know what it was. But I was like, did the 12-year-old really just get me to take a step back?
Yeah.
And not engage?
Yeah, that's crazy. He's doing jiu-jitsu too now, right?
Oh, he has been doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He actually does better in jiu-jitsu than he does Muay Thai.
And wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
What a phenomenon.
He won states last year.
And that's a testament to where we've come MMA-wise with, like, when we were that age, or when I was that age.
I was about to say.
Not you. I mean, well, you too, because MMA wasn't as prevalent.
No, I wrestled in high school because I was trying to pick up girls.
Yeah, and now it's
Didn't
just
work.
like the steps are, everything is there.
Yeah.
As opposed to when I was first coming up, it was just like, it didn't exist.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
You just
about Chad Beatty, and like Spa City was the only jiu-jitsu school from here to,
Albany,
To New York City.
Yeah.
maybe Albany once when Bruno opened up his spot, but even then, I think Chad was the first one in our area.
Chad was telling me, like, back in the day when he was here, like, there was, and he's got a picture in his office. Like, I think there was like 5 or 6 of these guys that would like train in whoever's basement, and then, but he would have to go down to New York City to like get, I would say quote unquote real training. Yeah, it's really crazy. Yeah,
And now it's
Now
Now it's everywhere, and that was the conversation.
It's like taekwondo and karate schools when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Now it's jiu-jitsu, and you have the ability to learn the whole dichotomy of everything.
Yeah.
Muay Thai, boxing.
I mean, and it's funny. Do you think that like did the UFC have something to do with that when the Gracies came in?
Absolutely.
And I mean,
Yeah,
right?
The Gracies used to own part of the UFC.
I mean, because they brought
Harry and Gracie.
because all of a sudden those guys went in and they were these little Brazilian guys and they're kicking the crap out of these huge dudes and like ever since I just feel like ever since that moment like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu just really kept coming.
Well, yeah, and if you look back at like the first 10, 11, 12, maybe in the first 20 UFCs, nobody caught on to jiu-jitsu being like, they're looking at Royce Gracie
to
who
be
was,
as a force.
178 pounds soaking wet holding a brick back then, and he's choking out. Like,
Was it Shamrock the first one that he beat?
yeah.
It
He
was,
beat
right?
Shamrock with the, it's like a combination armbar triangle.
I'm
was
not
that?
sure.
And,
I can't remember either. I wanted to say it was like a choke of some sort, but
They didn't know. They didn't know. Like, Ken knew sorta, but like nobody knew back then.
Right.
It was like we've got Art Jimerson with a boxing glove on one hand, and then he goes in and gets like mollywalked pretty handedly, and then you got Pat Smith who was a kickboxer, and like all these type of guys, and then you got the littlest guy in the tournament
Yeah.
that beat everybody.
yeah,
So
tapped everybody out.
and then everybody went, "What is that?" And then here we are.
It's funny. I remember I was tending bar at Dango's around 2000, 2002, somewhere around that. The one in Maple Street, Glens Falls, not the one in Saratoga. I guess that's not even there anymore. They sold it. But there's a couple guys in the bar, and I won't mention their names, but they were like tougher guys. And what I didn't know back then that I know now is that they were actually one of the few. There was like 2 or 3 of them that were doing jiu-jitsu. And locally, and so it was like some of the reasons why they were some of the toughest guys in the bar, right? Like if things would happen, like they could go down to the ground and roll around, and it's just really funny. I mean, I'm still friends with those guys, but I don't want to call them out being you probably know what I'm talking about, but
Probably.
local Glens Falls guys,
Yeah, probably most definitely.
Yeah. So anyway, back to Thailand.
So we went to Thailand. I was training at Super Bond's training center the entire time. For those who don't know who that is, he's a 1 championship kickboxing champion. and it was incredible training the entire time. Damien, first draw, picked a kid from Afghanistan that was a foot taller than him, and he put up a great fight. He lost by decision. I agree with the judge's decision. Unfortunately, the kid was just able to use that reach, but Damien was landing head kicks on the kid still. Like, it was
amazing.
A really good fight. It just unfortunately...
What an experience for Damien.
Exactly.
Wow.
He's gotten to do things in the last 2-3 years that most adults don't do their entire life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. Like, that whole story about Damien and him dominating the tournament here and then going to Thailand. Like, wow, man.
Yeah. Which he's only going to keep getting better.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's going to be, by the time he's 16, he's going to be killing grown men.
Yeah, right? Like,
he probably kill a few now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be worried.
I had him spar with I have 2 guys that are about the same size as him in our program, and he was murdering them. So I'm just like, all right, then. I don't have any sparring partners for you that you can't, like, absolutely kill. So
How was training today, honey? Training with a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Oh,
Questioning my whole existence.
Yeah.
Got beat up by a 12-year-old.
I got a lot to work on.
He's a special 12-year-old.
It's very.
which up next on the list for him, there is a tournament in Ohio where they're doing Muay Thai and pancration. So
True.
he'll be doing that next.
So tell me about Thailand, though. Like,
Oh my God.
how cool was it? I mean,
I
so
didn't
you
wanna
guys were
leave.
training how much, though? I mean, you were
I
training
was training
a lot.
twice a day.
Yeah.
And they were 2-hour sessions a day per session. So it was about 4 hours of training a day. And I also, there's a legendary trainer over there. His name's Trainer Gay. And Trainer Gay is a legend. And I just got abused the entire time. And the biggest thing with him I noticed, so with the trainers there, some of them, they'll take your money. They'll just make you feel good about yourself. And they're based on energy there, so they can tell. So with me, Trainer Gay could tell that, like, I was a martial artist and I was a fighter. So we did the same thing. I paid for 4 sessions up front with him. We did the same thing every session. There was no changing it. And we just kept doing the same exact thing. It was making my right leg longer and stronger and everything, and how to get more power. I thought I kicked hard. Like, I've had my last Thai fight, I broke the guy's femur by kicking it so hard with my shin.
I mean, that's no easy feat.
I threw a kick at him, and he just went, oh, no, Mohad. And as I'm kicking, he goes, oh, you American. Makes sense. I'm like...
Calling you out. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
and so-
that's why you kick, like...
And there were all these little details and drills and things we did, but the entire time that I was training with Trainer Gay one-on-one, I was just throwing, like, different variations of how to set up a right high kick. That's all we did the entire time I was training with him. But then I would see him holding pads for some people that you could tell were just there to, like, record me. Look, I worked out with Trainer Gay.
Yeah.
And he just was like, all right, I'll hold pads for you. Like, the one thing he's most well known for is he lets people kick him in the neck.
What?
Yeah. It's
Like hard?
Yes.
Must be good for blood flow, apparently.
I'm telling you, at first I like...
Did you kick him in the neck?
Yes. But the first time I did it, I just picked up my leg and touched, and he goes, no, power. And I put a little extra on it. And finally, I just went full bore, and I hit it, and I feel like the flesh didn't even move. Like, nothing happened.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the application.
For him, I don't know. For me, I get it. And he would do this little trick sometimes where right before it landed, he would shrug his shoulder. So before my kick would land, it would suddenly destroy it. And then he would just sweep my leg out from under me sometimes just because.
Go, way!
Yep, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, I got videos of it. It was crazy. But
So you got your ass kicked in Thailand.
Yeah.
Very nice.
yeah, so.
But it's, I mean, I have to imagine that you're taking what you're learning there, you're bringing it back. Like,
Yes, and even like while I was out there, I went to twice. I did this. I went to Lumpini Stadium to watch the fights there, and there was stuff that I was looking at their show. Like, it's weird because I'm not the type of fan now. Ever since we started doing this together, doing a fight promotion, when I go to shows now, I don't just look at the fights anymore. I try and take a look at all the little intricate things and go, oh, interesting. I wonder why they do that, or like just little dumb things like that, and see how I can apply that to our show that's coming up. So I learned a few things.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
So what's next for Damien?
So he'll be fighting in Ohio at the Warriors Cup Invitational. And then if we have time and the money to do so, we'll go down to Delaware and fight at the Grand Nationals again.
Wow. I mean, that's got to be a barrier, right? It's like the financial side of the
Yes.
travel and the
not cheap.
fees and the equipment and just and training and coaching and all the stuff. Like, that's crazy. We need to do you got a GoFundMe? We got.
Yeah,
Do you really?
We did it last time for him. We made a GoFundMe. We don't have one right now.
Oh,
but
okay.
when we get around to fundraising, it's usually when we do things like that. But
Yeah.
I don't like to do that if I can help it. Like, I paid for my own way when I went to Thailand. I didn't ask anybody to help.
Yep.
And I was fine the whole time I was out there. But when I came home, like, oh man, my bank account. I need to work on that again.
Need to get some private lessons in.
Yep.
Need to restock. Need
Yeah,
to sell some
exactly.
tickets to this fight.
Yeah, exactly. Which is at elitefightingpromotions.com.
So let's talk about the fight. So,
Yeah.
I don't even know how long we've been. Okay, we're good on time.
Yeah.
All right, so we're coming up November 1st. Fight starts at 7?
30.
7:30.
Doors open at 6:30. Fight start at 7:30. It's on a Friday, the day after Halloween.
So it'll be Day of the Dead, which
Yeah.
maybe we'll incorporate some things about that in our show. Let's
Right.
see.
Yeah, the unfortunate part about booking the city center in the fall
Yeah.
is that's their peak busy
Oh,
season.
I bet it is.
They do a lot of like teacher seminars
Yep.
or like a lot of school related type stuff from what I was told. So we had to pick the Friday, which we weren't happy about, but it's the only available.
I mean, listen, I like a Good Friday because then I can go in and have a couple of beers, and I
2
got
days
Saturday
recovery.
and Sunday before I got to be a normal human again.
Yeah.
So
And we're this time around we're using the Speckled Pig Brewing Company in Ballston Spa.
they're doing the beer.
They're
They're
our
doing
main
everything.
sponsor.
Wow.
What we're doing now that we changed from previous fights is we're going to sell like basically what we call a super sponsorship where
Yeah.
they pay to be Speckled Pig Presents Elite Fighting Promotions.
Okay.
It's called Fall Fight Fest.
Yeah.
And they're doing a collab with us. They're doing
even a special beer.
they're making a special beer called
They make great beer.
Tapped Out.
Ooh. See what
Don hasn't even seen the graphics and stuff yet. I have, but yeah, they're all in on this, and it's pretty cool. Just to have like the abundance of sponsors for this show is just
Yeah.
like when you don't have to like. I like to go out and find sponsors, but when they're contacting you and want to be a part of stuff in your third show,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, that's sweet,
that's
man.
like it's unheard of.
It's because you guys come on my podcast. I mean, let's be honest.
It is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yep. I dreamt about that a couple times. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's give them a little shout out too, because I love their beer, I love their food, their establishment, Ballston Spa. They're like right off the main drag.
Yep.
I can't remember what that little side street is that they're on. Right at the main intersection, you got
We're
Coffee
gonna,
Planet.
We're gonna get a GoFundMe for a parking garage for them.
For those guys,
Dude,
yeah.
that was my only complaint when I went there. I'm like, where the hell do you park?
You park in that little parking lot over by the laundromat.
Yeah.
Okay, but what happens when that fills up?
Well, then you're just, you're SOL. Park down the street at Stewart's, I guess.
I
Walk
might have
down.
parked at the fire department
Yeah.
down the street.
Oh,
you got
God,
them
they're-
like 3 little places, and then the rest is for firemen only.
I get out like 3 times a year, and I try to make one of those times those guys, because their beer is so good, their pizza is so good, like their food is just
Which they will have pizza at the show as well.
nice.
Yep.
They'll be catering the entire event. The plan is we're going to have people walking around selling beer and food. Like, there will be an area to be able to sell it as well, where they'll be making it and stuff like you place an order. And there's going to be people walking around the audience carrying it and selling it too.
Oh,
That
nice.
way people don't have to get up. And
Yeah. Are you doing tables again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any tables left?
Yes.
we do.
Oh, nice. Do you
I think we only have 5 tables
Out
left.
of 24.
do you get table service?
Yes.
You get table service, but it's not included in the table this time.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But,
Yeah, you'll
but someone
have
will
you'll have
come.
somebody coming
You'll
over,
have a
yeah.
server. Okay.
Yeah, there'll be servers there.
Because that's huge.
Yeah.
I think that was it the. I think it was the first one, because I couldn't get. I think I was out of town the last one.
Yeah,
that
you were out of
guys had.
town last one. We had
Yeah.
the buffet. Yeah.
So I missed that. So that might have been amazing.
This first one.
The first one was challenging because you had to go wait in line. That sucked.
Yeah, so this time each show, what we've been doing is upgrading, and
Yeah.
reinvesting, and
Yeah.
we haven't really seen much. in
That's the
our own-
entrepreneurial way, man.
Yeah.
Like every time you do something, you're like, all right, what do I got to do better this time than I didn't do last time?
Exactly. So
Yeah,
it's-
we have merch now too. So
Merch.
Let me throw that out there. That we have the Elite Fighting Promotions T-shirt.
Nice.
Beautiful quality T-shirt. I can't say enough about the T-shirt.
Yeah, you're almost like Donald Trump in your.
I was having a debate
great.
today wearing this or the Elite shirt.
I took 2 out of there so I could wear multiple times
That's
during the
funny.
week to be seen on it. We have, 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 I eventually want to get into the hoodie business at the next show.
Nice.
Hoodies are big, especially. Our next show will be in February, so hoodies will be around then.
Yeah, I remember at one championship, it was really cold inside the arena, and I went and bought a hoodie just so that way, because like everything else in Thailand is hot.
Yeah.
So I was like, they got me. I just went and spent
they got me.
$70.
Tell them how much the hoodie was over there in regular money.
$4.
No, it was like $70 US.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's
Oh
the
my
most
God.
you could
Probably the most expensive thing I bought. These pants, I spent
Worth every penny, whatever you
I
spent.
spent 200 baht on the pants and a shirt combined, so it was maybe $5 altogether.
Nice.
stayed in a luxury hotel for
$30.
$39. So the sweatshirt was more than the room.
That's what I'm saying. When he says $70 American, I'm like, oh my
It was
God.
$30 a night, and I stayed in a luxury hotel.
That's crazy.
With a Muay Thai
Oh yeah, there was a Muay Thai gym.
showcase underneath it.
Yeah, it was a Muay Thai gym and arena in the center of the hotel.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's that prevalent.
Yeah.
in
I just
Thailand.
feel like when you're over there and you're in kindergarten, you get in line and then the other kid just walks by and punches you in the face like a rite of passage instead of nap time. That's how they end up with nap time.
It's just a part of the
Like-
culture.
Like here, how like football and baseball are like our two main staples here. Over there, it's basically soccer or Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Like, it's very
Just
ingrained in their
insane.
culture, and that's something why I started this show with Jay. Was I wanted to make more of an education for people on what martial arts is.
And I don't know if a lot of people understand what. Can you give us like the quick, 30-second overview of what Muay Thai is versus
Muay Thai?
Muay Thai. Actually, Muay Thais are really yummy, guys. See where my head is. What Muay Thai is compared to like other disciplines.
All right, the best way to describe it, and it hurts me to say it like
Are you going to
this.
say it's kickboxing with elbows?
Kickboxing with elbows and knees and clinch work, as in like I can grab you and control you. You can't grab in kickboxing.
Gotcha.
And I can throw low kicks, I can throw knees, I can throw elbows to your face, and like it's, in my opinion, the most complete striking art there is.
Okay.
Which is a perfect lead-in. Should we let it out of the bag now on the podcast since we haven't put it on Facebook yet
Ooh.
for February's show?
I'll let you.
Something special?
I haven't put this on Facebook. I've had the poster made for like 3 weeks now, but we haven't really had ample time to kind of ramp it up because we've been working on this card for so long. And so in February 8th is our next show. It is a Saturday, thank God.
Okay. So I got to drink less.
We will have a pro Muay Thai main event.
Really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Will that be you? Are you? fine?
No, I'm retired. I'm done. I'm sick and tired of having to reconstruct.
You don't want to get punched in the face?
We're working on somebody local.
We won't say.
I won't say yet
who,
because
but yeah.
Okay.
we it's going to be an interesting.
That's exciting.
It's going to be an interesting night. I mean, definitely one fight, maybe two. We've got a lot of things that we worked out insurance wise that we didn't understand and just kind of hugged the insurance guy and said,
Yeah.
"Wow, I didn't understand that, but
Yeah,
yes,
we
this
can
is
do that.
beautiful." So, yeah. So
That's awesome.
next
That's
year
super
will be
exciting.
our dive into professional Muay Thai.
Very cool. Very cool. It's a whole different ball of wax from amateur fighting, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
different rule systems, different
Yeah,
everything.
basically what's happening is Jay and I discovered, and this was a complete accident. We got into combat sports, and I just said we can do both Muay Thai and MMA. It's fine. We can have a mix of both. And it's turning out the Muay Thai is getting a lot more popular than MMA. So guess what? We're going to follow the trend.
Yeah, we have 9 Muay Thai fights on this card.
Yeah.
Interesting. On the February one or the one coming up?
The one coming up.
Yeah.
Well, so
And then
let's
the
talk
rest
about
are
the
MMA.
card coming up.
Yeah, the rest are all MMA, but
Yeah.
the majority of the last 2 cards were all Muay Thai. We had, I think the last show we only had 2 MMA fights, and everything else was Muay Thai.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just people prefer the stand-up fighting. The issue with the MMA scene I've noticed, and especially where we're from, everybody's a grappler in MMA who happens to do a little bit of striking for the
Yeah.
most part. Once in a while, you get a guy who's a specialist like myself where I can do both. But like you get some guys who they don't like to fight; they like to grapple and just be able to show. And so for us, we accidentally became a promotion that's primarily Muay Thai. I'll never say no to an MMA fight.
Yeah, and I think a lot of guys are looking at like, wow, I can do Muay Thai, and it really doesn't affect my MMA record. Or
Yep.
I can do MMA, it doesn't affect my Muay Thai record. And have that, because there's a lot of guys who do jiu-jitsu tournaments that are MMA fighters, or I know boxers that are in the MMA field. Now it's just like, wow, I can do a hodgepodge of things and the whole cornucopia of combat sports. Mm-hmm. Why not?
And I got to tell you too. I mean, from a spectator standpoint, I'd much rather see it on people on their feet.
And I've told him, between judging, cornering, commentating, owning fight promotions, I've seen thousands, and that's no bullshit, thousands of MMA fights.
Yeah.
It's nice to sit and watch a beautiful stand-up going
Yeah.
back and forth thing where and I'm not shitting on MMA in any way, a lot of, the outlier fans, when they see it go to the mat, that kind of throws them off. We're like, oh no, it's slow time.
Well, sometimes you can't even see.
Yeah.
Can't even see what's going
Yeah,
on.
exactly. So now it's stand-up time, and
Which, by the way, we upgraded to a newer cage, and
we
it's
have a
taller.
26
nice.
we have 26-foot monster cage. So yeah, and then to go further into the future, we will have a 5-rope Muay Thai ring.
That's cool.
So some shows will be a cage, some shows will be a 5-rope ring. And the 5-rope ring means that we can have more room because it's a 20-footer, I believe, is the one we're looking at.
Yeah.
So there'll be more room for more people as well. And if we want to do different venues, the 5-rope ring would be a lot easier than the cage.
Than the cage, yeah.
Certain venues you can't fit the cage inside of.
I bet that.
Yeah.
I mean, the one that you've been using is pretty big, but if you're going even bigger on it, I mean,
Yeah, we had 22-footer, now we're at 26 feet.
Yeah.
Which 26 feet is the exact same cage that Chad Beatty had for Cage Combat.
Oh, no kidding?
That me and my former partner bought off him and used. So
nice.
yeah, it's visiting the old. And they don't really, according to the guy at Monster, they don't really sell 26-foot cages anymore, hexagons.
Yeah.
So when I was like, yeah, I need a 26 hexagon white canvas, he's like, we don't even really deal with that much anymore. You sure it's time? I'm like, yeah.
Are they mostly smaller?
It's usually bigger.
Bigger, okay.
Yeah, they're usually competition size because I think they do a lot of pro fights,
Yeah.
hexagon-wise, and they're going like 30.
Yeah. Like Art of Combat, they use a 32-foot cage.
Oh my God.
So I'm just like,
It's just, and I think at one time, was it Reality Fighting? One of them had a huge, it had to be like almost 40 feet.
Yeah.
Like there's old videos of, and it wasn't hexagon, I don't believe either, but it was too big. I think 26 is perfect size. 22 is a little bit smaller. Yes, you're going to get the you can't run away type thing, but as opposed to audience satisfaction, there's more room to roll. Like, oh, now the guy's over here, might be over there. And with the 22-foot we had, it was hard for people to see if it went to the mat because the height from the floor to the
So this one
to
has
the
a-
competition
Oh, yeah.
area was very short because I don't think it was really meant to be a competition cage. I think it was meant to be a training cage.
but it was
Oh,
a
This
cheap,
is-
easy cage to go get. I wouldn't say easy to get, honestly. There was a lot of parts. And this has less parts to it. It's lighter. It's aluminum. So it's easier on my end.
Nice.
Because I'm in charge of the crew that puts it together. So
Yeah. The other thing we can throw out there too is for this one, we have a deal with Warriors Cup to broadcast our shows through their app. Right now, currently, we're the only one besides them on the app.
Warriors Cup is the largest Muay Thai promotion in the Northeast, if not the country right now. They are the only Muay Thai feeder that goes to one championship. So they have competitions where if you win, you can go get a 6-figure contract with one championship over in Thailand.
That's cool.
Shout out to Gooch, by the way.
Yeah, buddy.
So yeah, that was actually somebody contacting Don and asking us to be involved. So, like you said, I've told him this a bunch of times. Between people that want to invest in sponsorship, I've never been a part of anything. I've never known anybody else to be a part of anything where people wanted to be involved like they do.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's effortless, but I think the product sold itself, and with coaches and fighters, us being, martial artists and former fighters.
Yeah.
And
I think
gym
that's a big
owners
part.
and coaches and stuff. I think it just lends to the credibility, and I don't want to take away from anybody else. It's just there's an unwritten, I'm going to say code or rule between people who have fought and people that haven't fought, and there's trust. There might be untrust in certain spots, but I think there's more trust where they think, oh, well, they know where I'm coming from. They know that, I got to weigh in at this time, and they're going to be.
With Jay, back when I was fighting, I would fight on Cage Combat that Jay ran. And I've had promoters I've dealt with before. I go, this guy, I don't know his arts. I never once questioned Jay's motives whenever he sent me a matchup or did anything with me, because I just was like, he was a fighter too. He gets it. If there's a struggle that I get to go through, he gets to help me with that.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, and even I'll say this truthfully every day. I was 1 and 2 and I want to say it was pro-am because we were amateur fighters, but we had pro rules and we got paid in Vermont. When my career was over, I was in saunas cutting weight with my guys. I was in the gym getting them guys ready. So it's not like I've ever left this due to injury. I have the last couple of years because of surgery. But I understand, man. And I love being in that.
Yeah.
And that's been the majority of my, I had my first fight at 31 years old. I'm 47 now. It's been most of my life, pretty much. And I understand it. I love it. And I want to see people succeed. I want to, I always told my guys, win, lose, or draw, man. It's an opportunity, and it's something that nobody else can say they have besides you. When you're locked, he can say it. When you're locked in a cage or you're in a ring with somebody, I didn't have the opportunity to fight in a cage. It was a ring. But there's something special about that nobody that hasn't done it can understand, and that's part of the beauty of why I love this business and why I've never left it. Is just it's art. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's art. You might have a painting on your wall and look at it and go, wow, I love how somebody came up with that and made it what it was. That's all fighting is. It's the way you make it and the way you train and the way you portray it out into the world. And if you lose, who gives a shit? It's an experience.
Yeah. Well, I have to think, too, that, you guys have talked in depth on both of the podcasts that we've done now on your previous fights about how you're putting matchups together and how you're trying to make sure that it's going to be a good fight and not someone getting completely slaughtered or destroyed by the other person.
I don't make mismatches.
From a mismatch, right? Yeah. So I think, that's got to account for something. And again, I wasn't able to get to the last one, but the first one, there were some great fights at that first one. We had such a great time.
It was even better on the second show.
Yeah, I bet it was. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This next one's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, and that's a part I'm totally. In the beginning, I was worried because Don had never matchmade, but I've done it before. Just trying to see how he was going to navigate things. Mm-hmm. Don, how many times have I said, that matchup doesn't work?
I can't recall.
I haven't said it once.
Yeah.
I haven't had to
And I think also all the years of me being a fighter, but also at one point I was coaching and managing my guys looking at matchups, and I think that's just where I went, okay, I know how to do this. Yeah. I just kept looking and go, I bet I could put together a card really easily. And
yeah.
And I don't even have to call people that much. Usually it's people reach out to us, and I just go, cool, you want to fight? Let me see what I got.
Yeah, and if you look at tape, being in the game as long as we have, if you look at somebody and you can see what their tendencies are, their strengths and their weaknesses, and I think Don has the ability to just go, it's already in there, and then look at that guy and go, well, I know it don't work for him. I got a guy that might work. Boom, and it's there.
Yeah.
That's few and far between in this business because some matchmakers, even at the professional level, you can look and go, what the?
Even what comes to mind with me is CM Punk when he fought in the UFC, and I was like, who the hell thought that was a good idea?
That was a huge money grab. That guy, I don't want to shit on Phil. That's his real name, but yeah, that was your dream. But to jump into the pro level like they did,
a lower level promotion probably would have been best for him.
Yeah, and that would have that's humility to the 10th power when you get. The first time you get destroyed, and the second time, Mike, what the hell is that?
I know what you're talking about.
Mike Jackson.
Yeah.
Was the lowest of the low tier fighter on UFC cards, self-admittedly too, and he barely, CM Punk lost that fight, but it's why didn't you start? He has a good reputation and he does commentary for CFFC. Why didn't you want to do there? Why? There's so many guys that they could have used that have been busting their ass through the years to get to the UFC, and then they throw a guy
Who did nothing to earn it.
World Professional Wrestling has limited jiu-jitsu school. He's training at, where was he training? He was with Duke Rufus. Training with Duke Rufus. Yes, one of the masters, but you don't have enough time, dude.
Yeah.
He was in his early 40s at that time, or late 30s. Like, why?
Can you still fight at that age? Like,
You're allowed to legally. The medicals are different once, depending on where you are. Like in
I think you told me if you're 40, you've got to
You
get
have to
like
have
a
the EKG.
EKG.
Sometimes they'll require a CT scan if you're in like your late 40s.
Yep.
Oh my God. I'm 47 as well.
Yeah.
Why the hell would any 47-year-old want to get into a ring at this point? Like,
I'm
will competitive and I love to roll jiu-jitsu. I don't want to get punched in the face.
I'm not opposed to having a guy that's over the hill, but I put them against another guy that's around the same age. I don't put those guys against 20-year-olds if I can help
that
it.
are just going to eat them alive.
Yeah.
If I could go back and change a lot of stuff about my career, I would have not fought when I fought and waited years into it.
Yeah.
Because I know it would have been a lot better, but it is what it is. It wasn't like
I'm very thankful that the Brucheks took such good care of me when I was younger and made sure that they made the right decisions. And then they taught me how to match make as well for myself, and they taught me how to talk to promoters, and I was very lucky with that. And then when I went to California, I was very lucky to have the people I trained with. But
Yeah.
even then, I made huge mistakes too.
Well, that's all part of it too, man.
I look back, even at old tape, I'm like, I should have slipped right there. Should not have just stood on the center line there. Yeah, my bad.
So real quick, because I don't want to keep you guys here all day, but tell us about the ticket. Who do we got fighting? Who's the main event we've got coming up?
So the main event, his name is Tabriz Khattab versus Gabriel Vega. They both, right now, Gabe has a very extensive Muay Thai background. He's just getting his start in MMA, but the guy is dangerous. He's got like lightning in his hands, and I've seen him drop people. Tabriz Khattab, he fights out of Brian Beery Jiu-Jitsu. He's 2-0 in MMA, but he also has a very extensive background in wrestling, like very high-level wrestler, very good striker. He's from Afghanistan originally. His brother's a pro fighter. I've watched him. He's dangerous. So, in my opinion, the main event, one of those guys is going to sleep, whichever one it's going to be. And they both can wrestle though too. So that's going to be the co-main event. It's going to be a full rules Muay Thai fight, elbows and all. And the only difference between a pro Muay Thai and an amateur Muay Thai fight in New York State is they wear elbow pads in amateurs. So that way it prevents cuts, which it really doesn't. I've seen people get cut open before. So
Even with the pads on.
with the pads on, I've seen it happen. So that one is Terrence Kite versus Andrew Oliveira. They both have quite the background as well in Muay Thai. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I've seen both of them fight. And I've trained with both of them. And that's the thing. A lot of these fighters as well, you know how I got them to show up to my card is I'd show up to their gym and I just train with them, just cross training, and then they'd be like, I really like this guy, and I get to assess them up close and personal, and I decide if they're a good fighter or not. And that's how the majority of the guys I've gotten on my card is.
So you've had to go back to their gym a couple of times because most people I know don't like you the first time they meet you.
Exactly. And I think that also helps them kind of be like, yo, we're on a level with each other, man.
Yeah.
Like I understand what you're going through. So like. And Brian Beery actually said it to me the other day when I stopped by his gym. He said, I'm really looking forward to finally have my guys fight on a show that was put together by martial artists.
Nice.
And that's what he said to me. I go, cool, thanks, man. I appreciate it. So.
And a lot of these guys, and how many fights total?
Right now I'm up to 13 fights.
13 fights,
Yeah,
wow.
So I'm not really looking to add more fights to it. I think that's a perfect night.
That is well worth the price of
You're
admission.
done by 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. You get to go to bed. I find that if you make the fights go until 12 o'clock at night, everyone's tired. Nobody wants to be there.
You heard me say I'm 47, right? Like 12 o'clock at night, that sounds so late.
my fiance thinks 9 o'clock is late.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
When I
that's what I'm
see some of
saying.
these
Like
fight cards-
8:30 is the time.
When I see some of these local shows that put together like 20 fights in their card, I'm like, dude, that's a late night.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. 13 sounds great. And I'm just curious too. Like, are these people from around here?
Yes
Are
and
they
no.
traveling a lot? Like,
We
what is-
have 4 Brian Beery guys.
4 guys from Brian Beery.
Where's Brian out of?
Waterville Elite.
Okay.
We got 2 from our school in Saratoga, the Saratoga Academy of Elite Martial Arts. I've got 4 from Jeremy Hunt School, Sukati Muay Thai. I've got people from Nuxu as well. And then I got guys going as far from Buffalo. I got guys coming from Rhode Island. I got guys coming from Western New York.
So this ticket's primarily all New York then. Because I remember, I think the first one there was people
But
coming.
we have one dude
one
come
from
from
Vermont
Kentucky.
and one from Kentucky.
Yeah. Because
But-
that's a
yes.
distance to travel.
And the thing is, I think that it's important that we bring people from out of town as well. If
Yeah.
all you do is there's a limited number of local fighters here. So let's say, I don't know, you put on 20 fights all together in a night. Cool. You manage to get a handful of guys from the area. Well, as time goes on, what happens? All those guys are all fighting each other. Then you're
Yes.
like, all right,
Just-
we've seen these guys.
It narrows down, and that's
That's why I like to spend the extra
you got to
money.
bring in some new blood.
yeah. And the cool thing we're doing now too is if you have a fight team, you got an Airbnb.
Oh,
You
nice.
guys, you
Any of the
guys are
team,
all
if you
on-
bring more than like 3 or 4 guys, I put you in Airbnb.
You got an Airbnb, and you got and the other thing that I wanted is I bought a portable sauna.
Oh, nice.
So if these guys need to cut
like
weight,
one of those tent ones I keep
yes,
seeing?
it's amazing.
yeah.
I've tried it out a couple times. Easy to put up, easy to take
Yeah.
down. So they don't, we've had the last 2 fights, we had 2 different people that had to cut weight
Yeah.
to make it. So
Throw them in the
we'll-
sauna.
Yep, we'll have it set up.
Go
wherever
sweat
we
it
do
out, boys
weigh-ins
and girls.
or somewhere around the area, and boom, if you got to cut that extra weight, jump in there and don't have to worry about it. Because at one point we had the guy trying to where's the sauna? It's over at the YMCA, and then I was like, no, just running. But hey, no, we got one all set up.
Right there, yeah.
Ain't gotta
That's
worry
cool.
about it.
That's cool.
So
So where people want to buy tickets, they want to learn more about the fight card, where do we send them?
EliteFightingPromotions.com is our official website. You can go there. There's a link in the main body of the website. It says tickets. It'll bring you to a box down at the bottom for ticket spice, and you can literally click on the seat that you want if it's available, and
Front row's
Pretty
almost
easy
sold
with
out.
that.
Tables
Yep.
are almost sold. There's 5 VIP tables left, and I think 17 front row last I checked.
Yeah, I want a table.
Well, get on there.
I'm gonna.
I know a guy.
You know a guy?
I know a guy.
Nice. That's awesome. Guys, thanks for coming over. Thanks for
Thanks
coming
for
out to the
having
farm. This is like my new favorite thing is
I
doing
saw
the
a
podcast
turkey.
out here.
I seen a turkey.
There's definitely a couple
He
turkeys
tried
running
to
around.
peck me.
Try to eat you.
I'm like rear naked choke him.
Go out, Chase. Chase got a turkey.
He won't go out. He just won't go out.
They're tough turkeys.
Well,
One tough turkey.
when we started walking towards him, he just stopped and just stared.
Yeah.
You have to. I used to work on a farm, and sometimes they would come up and punk you and stab you, and I'm just like, nope. I just stand my ground and let them know.
Oh my God, these white ones, the large-breasted turkeys, they're like dogs. They would like follow me. I had 6 of them at one point in time, and they would just follow me around the farm like dogs would. Everywhere I'd go, there'd be friggin' turkeys
protected.
behind me. I'd be working on fence. All of a sudden, I'd turn around. They're all just sitting there
Turkey
staring at
posse.
me. Oh my God, it was creepy.
Look up on PBS. There's a thing called My Life as a Turkey, and it's a guy that spent a year living with wild turkeys, and it's crazy. He literally his whole career, he's a biologist where he studies how to imprint on different animals.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
Oh, before we leave,
Yes.
if anybody wants a T-shirt, you can contact our Facebook or wait for the show. They'll be on sale for $30.
Nice.
We have small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL, or XL and 2XL. So
I haven't been hitting the gym very much. You got one that'll make me.
I got a small in the
You
car.
got,
if
you
you
get
want
a
one.
medium.
I'll hook you
A
up.
medium.
Yep.
Guys, thanks a lot for coming
Thanks
in.
for having us.
Thanks everybody for listening. As always, you can find us on Glens Falls Business Report and SaratogaBusinessReport.com. You can find us on the social medias. Watch us on YouTube and Rumble, and find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So thanks for listening, and until next time.